So I gotta say, man, Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 45, awesome. I loved it, and one of the main reasons why I loved it was because I found a character that I just went straight up the board. You know, last week I said Historia, wow, you know, seeing her, I guess that independent attitude, but now in this episode, truly seeing that she is truly an independent person, and she's gonna maybe knock some sense into you mentally, maybe even physically, knowing her, who knows. She did punch Eren in the head last episode, but nonetheless, though, to see that she's actually brought Eren to the revelation of, hey, your dad did this because this shouldn't be this way. The Race family has had every opportunity to make this right, but no, for some odd reason, they keep Titans around. For some odd reasons, you know, they make people live in a fake reality, you know, and that's not right. And thank God, because Eren needed to know that, you know, he kind of dropped the ball last episode. It kind of went over his head whenever the whole thing was going down with Historia and Rod, her dad. I mean, right there's evidence, and whenever she asks, why have we changed this in the past 100 years? But Eren is so delusional, and so far gone by that point, he didn't really grasp what was going on there. He's too busy beating himself up. So it's really cool to see his story be elevated this episode. But at the same time, though, I mean, let's look at the new Titan that's out there. And before we get into the new Titan, let's really hop on to the brainwashing. So apparently, people in the Race family are under the First King's will. You know, the very first original family member of the Race family, apparently they're under his kind of will, his influence, right? So that's something that we did not know, so that adds some, I guess, context to this situation, you know, the setting these events that are going on. So it's not entirely the Race family's faults in some regards, like Frida per se. I mean, Frida was a kind-hearted girl, and you'd be like, wow, why didn't Frida change this? We saw the flashback. We saw how she treated Historia. We saw that she wanted to be closer to Historia, but she'd erase her memories and then bring her memories back whenever she'd come around. Why wasn't she someone who tried to save humanity? And now we kind of find out, once you get that Titan ability and stuff like that, if you have the Race blood in you, that's what can happen. But at the same time, though, I got to say, Historia saying, hey, I'll be the queen, but I'm still going to be in the scouts, you know, clearly that's what they're trying to say. Whenever she came into that room, she's still a scout. She said, I'm going to put it all on the line. Not only am I going to be someone who's just sit in the throne room and hide behind doors while people fight and die for her, I'm going to go fight with those people that are dying for me, and I'm going to rule. So that's so badass. That's so cool to see how independent her character is. I mean, rather than the cliche, you know, female character in anime, you know, and especially like shonens most of the time, just not be the heroine in distress. And that's just how shows are written. You know, that's just how they're written. It is what it is. You know, it's not all the time. Sometimes you'll have a very strong female character, but it's cool to see that it's not following the typical shonen trope to where, yeah, maybe she's strong, but she's not independent, whether it be mentally or physically. No, I mean, Historia is whatever she needs to be. She will throw it all out on the line, you know, and I love that. I love that about the character. It's not a cliche female character in the shonen genre, and that's not taking a shot at female characters in shonen genres. That's just the way they're written. Once again, that's no one's fault. Just kind of sucks that it happens that way. I mean, that's what happens when you have most writers are, you know, the male mangakas. Of course, you know, you have Shonen Jump and the editor saying you need to write this way or that way. So it's not even their fault that maybe some female characters aren't gravitated to as a true independent being mentally and physically all the time, because of editors want that, you know, that male shonen character. And that's why, you know, that's why Attack on Titan is so good, because Eren's not that typical male character too at the same time. But we also did get to see that Eren got to use his hardening ability, so that was pretty nuts. They can go to Wall Maria and finally fill in that hole, actually. So, I mean, that's something that they can do. That's going to be cool to see whenever they finally get to that, you know, get to the basement. And, I mean, look at this new Colossal Titan. That's even bigger than the Colossal Titan. It reminds me of Cabaneri at the Iron Fortress, because I'm pretty sure in, like, episode 5 or so, once they get to the first train station, or no, it's like episode 3 or 4, I think, actually. They get to, like, the first train station, and they find out it's been taken over by Cabaneri also, and I think there's that giant one that was crawling. That's what that reminded me of, this one. And of course, this technically was written first before that, but I'm just saying that's what it reminded me of. I'm not saying it was a knockoff or anything of the sort. But at the same time, though, it's great to see that Titan's bigger than the Colossal, but it seems as if it's not. Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. The shifters are able to mentally control it. Well, Rod is not mentally there. We all know that. So that's something that we gotta think about as well. But, you know, when I think about it, it makes you wonder if there's some kind of special ability that this Titan may possess. Who knows? So, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I want to hop on to the hardening thing, because I did actually forget to talk about something. We got to see that Aaron ate something that said armor. He ate a glass thing. He bit into it. He ate it. He drank it, whatever you want. He inhaled it, right? And then he's able to use hardening. So, like, is there multiple glass capsules or whatever you want to call them that have different Titan abilities that you can collect and you can add to you? Because we know you get the power of a Titan you eat, right? If a shifter eats another shifter, right, and or a Titan eats a shifter, whatever it may be, whatever comes first, shifter eating another shifter or Titan eating another Titan eating a shifter, whoever eats that said person gets their Titan abilities that they hold within them too at the same time. So you gotta think about that, I mean, if there's just abilities laying around, how are they made? Where do they come from? And how many more abilities are there? How many different abilities? What's the variety? So that's something that's really cool. I mean, we don't know what Annie's was. We know what Reiner's is, right? I mean, I don't think Bertolt actually has an ability outside being a Colossal Titan, but who knows? You know what I mean? So yeah, as always, guys, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter X25. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.